Alright, I'm just gonna turn this part of the stream into a video, I guess. Yeah, might as well. So I prepared a little presentation to talk about some new item changes I want. Now that as of August 28th, Riot's announced that mythics are going goodbye, meaning we're gonna have like a whole new like starter item, what items you need to rush system coming in, and that gets me pretty excited because there's gonna be like a bunch of like new hyper crit kiting builds into like some hybrid damage ones, some utility tank stuff. I think that's pretty exciting. So these are some items that I want, not necessarily ones that don't show up, but let's see. So our first change, this item has been on my mind forever. I want the Runeglaive passive back into League of Legends for Lichbane. Runeglaive itself, back in the day, was very, very problematic, and they had to change it a lot of times. Basically, you see that little circle there back then. I believe that was like season 5-ish. It was popular, and it had a circular little motion on the Spellblade auto proc, and that auto proc was decently strong. It felt good, and it was just felt like a nice item to use. I think that's part of why Runeglaive was so popular, was because it just felt good to use in general. And just to quickly talk it up. So Lichbane's proposition, the AoE used to return mana on monster hit, 6% missing mana return. Now just make that on champion or tower hits. The AoE will help clear waves when hitting towers, makes it less safe for those ranged champs to just harass constantly early as well due to tower aggro grabbing, but gives them more chance to harass. And it revives many champs who can't buy Ludens but want some form of wave clear. Think like Kale, I guess. At least early game. So just to talk more, it should allow these off-meta picks to return or flourish. I know we recently had the Static Shiv fiasco with the AP champs going AD, but this should be a little different. Some champs would be able to rush this with this proposed mana back on first hit change that I'm saying that I want in. If you remember back like maybe season 4, people used to buy Lichbane like as like a first item option. So maybe on characters like Kassadin or Fizz, characters that really need early power but don't necessarily want Lost Chapter outside of the fact that it's cheap, maybe they'll start going Lichbane just to have some form of early pressure, early game team fighting, some side lane priority, just literally anything. So of course, there's still like other characters like Fizz, Echo, yeah, I said Fizz already, Nidalee, even Bard would like this kind of thing, and it's not necessarily like, just because you add the Runic Echo on it doesn't make AP split pushers just need to buy it. Like Gwen probably wouldn't need this item, and I don't think this change makes it too OP. I just think it opens up a chance for AP split pushers to just exist, because AP split pushers cannot go Hullbreaker, and they're left with this hoping that there's a decent enough matchup where they could walk away from them. But yeah, currently Lichbane, you buy it when you're trying to end the game. Like you buy it on Victor maybe if you're being cringe, but that's about it. The item feels like crap if you can't end the game right. So maybe some weaving in autos in team fights might actually feel good for the item. Next thing I should talk about is my next item. Stormrazor! Yeah! Woo! So here's my proposition. I say goodbye to Energized. And pretty much the stacking of the Energized passive thing, that whole fantasy playstyle where you get one big Fleet Curses auto, is the most pointless build. You've never actually built RFC static Stormrazor with Fleet altogether. It's just not a thing. It's pointless. It's stupid. Like even you'd be like, oh, what if we add lethality to the item to make it more unique? Like no, it's all pointless. Just change it. It doesn't have to be Energized anymore. And if they were to make an Energized build thing successful by like making it so Ingenious Hunter lowers Energized cooldown or something, it's still stupid. Just goodbye Energized. I say turn this bad boy into a snowball, easy to purchase item. My proposed build path would be Recurve, Zeal, and some money at like 400 or so gold. Something very quick and easy to buy. Because it's a Recurve, it'll have a magic damage on the auto attacks, and I still would like it to have the charging function for that slow. Maybe not as great as Blade the Ruin King, and maybe not as great as is on live, but like some form of slow still would be nice on that 100%. Oh, sorry, I gotta sneeze. Alright, I'm all good now. I wrote here, Jin and Kate liked it historically. It's true, they like the idea because they're far range. They can use it to follow up on their own spells very easily. Aiming's Kaisa, I've seen build it recently. I know Riot tried buffing it as of like this whole Season 13 ADC item fiasco was overpowered for one patch, but like it got too strong, and I feel like it's just a pain in the ass to balance for what kind of item it is. And that mixed damage thing I was talking about, with it now having AP on its damage plus some crit, it's like really good for Trinimir type characters who get really screwed when they have like triple AD teams and they're just against a Warden's Mail. There's just nothing they can do for the rest of it. Sorry, I just had some water. Alright, my next item is Turbo Kente. Here's my proposition for that. Please just give this item some form of crippling effect. So when you use this item, you press it, it gives you the move speed, and you run face first into enemies. Let the AoE explosion, should it connect, matter. And because it's a Zon item, you know, Arcane, has any form of chem, anything, you know, we love Arcane in this house. Just let it apply any kind of cool little effect. Make it be poison, healing reduction, 10% damage reduction for yourself or allies. It can lower the resist for allies hitting affected targets by 10%. Literally just give this item some purpose for me going in. I have to buy this very niche magic resist item that hardly will ever see the light of day. Yeah, cool, it's good on Singe, it's good on Skarner, it's good on Maokai, but there's no point in me ever having this because it's just only good against magic resistance. It needs to have some form of punishment, like for the enemy for getting walked at, pretty much. With all the dashes and crowd control in the game, they need some like form of reward for sending my body face first into dying. I want more than just the race car noise. Alright, here's my next item. Sunfire Aegis. I don't actually need this item changed, but I kind of want it because I really miss it. My favorite thing to play in probably like the last 4 years in League of Legends was Sunfire Aegis Sejuani top lane. It's so much fun. If I could play that again, I'd be really happy. Please, Riot Games or anybody out there who's seeing this, please, I want it back. Okay, next item. Uh-oh! What's this? New items? That's right, I'm a liar. Bring me back my boot upgrades, please. If just a little bit of a history lesson for y'all folks. It was Furor, Alacrity, Distortion, Captain, and Home Guard. Those were the 5 upgrades available for your boots. This hasn't been in the game forever. And quite frankly, a lot of players, even like people that have been playing for like 6 years, may have never even seen this or heard about that boots used to have upgrades. My reasoning is mythics are no more. Let us choose extra ways to spend our money. I have a little writing here, but I'll just explain them one by one. Furor was essentially what Hearthbound Axe is today. It's just you get the movement speed on hit. I was gonna say Phage, but Phage is actually significantly different than what it used to be. Alacrity was just a flat bonus on movement speed. Every now and then you'd see like a mage wanting it. Distortion lowered the CD, like the CD, the cooldown of blink type summoners, so teleport, flash, I believe ghost as well, would have their cooldown reduced. And then Captain is just a nice one. It made the minions behind you move faster. And that was kind of like one of the most important like aspects of being a new player at the time, was if I felt like I was holding back the team, I would just buy Captain and pull minions back up, and it was a pretty fun way to play the game. I have extra gold, hey, might as well buy this type thing. And I put back here on the Captain argument. Hullbreaker shouldn't be the only siege item left in League of Legends. Just think, Omwrecker, Banner of Command, Sanguine Blade, all of these are gone. Oh, ZZ Rot Portal, all these items are gone. I don't know if we really need them ever again. But I feel like just a boot upgrade to let, I don't know, just some crappy player just help their team just a little more. I feel like that's not too much of a harm. Alright, that spell crit thing from Arena, so Rite of Ruin. I know it's a flawed subject, or like flawed like idea. Why should mages even be allowed to crit? I don't think they should, but it was pretty fun to play with. I like the idea of like a 6-item character selling their boots for this item, and then suddenly Syndra's critting on like her ulti. Orianna has a crit shockwave. Talia's critting on her Qs. Something like that. It's pretty cool. I want to see an actual real play, not just arena play. That's for Riot to work out. There's a reason to put it in arena for us to test. Anyways. Alright. My next thing is I want a game-breaking 80 carry item. I'm not talking about no Gale Force type stuff. I'm talking about a very expensive 4,000 plus gold 80 carry item that you want to rush first if you're ahead. You econ this bad boy, you feel good. You go late game, you need this item. No matter what, you need this item late game. It's just, I want one of those kind of items in the game that makes it, when those stupid 18-minute standoffs happen for 3rd Dragon, if you have this item over the opponent 80 carry, you're going to feel like you're just the stronger character. Not some stupid, oh, their character hits level 9 and mine's level 10, no difference. Nah, you're going to feel like you're level 13 on this mother trucker with your amount of damage you're pumping out. Nothing too crazy, but it's going to feel good. Like a real win condition is to econ for this item. Of course, it should be very punishing buying for it, so I think it should be like a massive combined cost. But just remember back in the day, Molten Edge was something like Vayne used to rush back in like Season 7 when Ornn first came out, and that character felt so good. I just showed right here. You get the 50% bonus on crit strike damage. Mwah, chef's kiss. It doesn't necessarily have to be this, but something along the concept of just a feels nuts item to buy. My new item that I want to bring up is a new 40% crit no attack damage item. So this is something I have to explain a bit. Every single ADC item, ADC build just feels the exact same. You compare maybe LDR with your Bloodthirster. That's like your most variance. Or instead of Maw, you go Guardian Angel for your 5th item. Most ADCs do the 80% plus the 1 defense plus the boots into selling boots maybe for full damage later. Something along those lines. And it's cool. I like it. But I feel like you should have more option. So I want to trade like a solid 80 carry item. I want to say, let's trade out Bloodthirster for Ravenous Hydra because I feel like I need the wave clear this game. And in exchange, I have a crit item still supplying me with that crit, but not doing nearly as much just raw output as the passive the Bloodthirster would give. Something like that. Like something with no passive but just has the crit to like say, thanks for buying me kind of deal. And I understand this could be scary for Rage Knife, like balance, or like Wind Bros, because you know how they have their crit multiplier that gives them 80 anyways. I understand it could be scary, but I'm just a person that likes playing League of Legends. Not much more about that. If they want to balance it, that's on them. Alright, here's my cool, what I expect riders think up when they're on their $4,000 rubber balls high out their minds because California, I don't know. So first things first, you read ahead if you want, pause the video, skip ahead, do what you want. Anti-heal that causes the healer to take damage instead. Right now, anti-heal feels like absolute piss. If you're facing Aatrox, Vladimir, Soraka, I feel like it's just better if all 5 members just buy what the hell they want to buy and just skip anti-heal. I get Morello doesn't feel that bad now because it has Pen, but like it still feels bad. Thornmail has the self-inflicted, like stunning them applies it now, which is like significantly better than it used to be. At least you have like some form of like pressing forward anti-heal pre-measure. But like, I feel like that's not enough. I feel like there should be an option that allows you to make him a little scared to heal. And that's where this idea comes in, that they will take damage instead. So the anti-heal is not denying healing, but it's going to make the healer get hurt if they heal that target with it. And so the heal will be full effect still, but there will be like an apply. And I think it should probably still build out of like Bramble Vest, but still just being Giant's Belt's Thornmail, into like the Thornmail. It should maybe just deviate a little, maybe just like a null magic or something on top of it, and it combines as just a weird costed item. You buy it if you just need a nuke or something. I don't know. And then my second item I want to talk about is the taunting items that makes enemies hurt you for more during it. So like if you use this item and you taunt somebody, that person that you taunted will hurt you for more. So Everfrost is already in the game as a utility item. Characters like Tilly and Rise love it. I feel like there should be an option for Sejuani kind of characters to disrupt like a Master Yi or Syndra for just a second. Just to be like, eyes on me, you can't kill my carry for this 1 second. I full combo you and my team needs to end you or you will one-shot me kind of deal. Think of like old Poppy ult, how it used to make it so you can only hurt one person. Kind of this concept, so to speak. I do expect it to have like some big reveal showing that this is the target, or even if it's if you use this, your resistances go to like absolute piss and not just that target hurts you more. So you just need to be really careful using it in general. Like a late fight taunt item, that's cool. I think it's just no mythics in the game. Just bring up more utility items that exist, more unique, weird stuff that can happen. And then my next item that I want to talk about is a trading percentage for your health for damage. Like a fat cost of HP for damage. I know there used to be Titanic Hydra's Cleave passive that would trade your like a chunk of HP for it, but that's not enough. I need like an actual 10% of your max HP just gone. And of course, like the tankier you are, the better it is. If you're not tanky enough past a certain threshold, it doesn't do anything kind of deal. I think that's the nice thing. Like make it so only like brutally tanky characters can buy this thing. Like it's a Cho'Gath, Zac, Shyvana kind of item. Maybe Xante. Don't make it so like a Camille can buy it. That's my like big alarm. It's ringing in my head. An item like this, like it could be like, oh, this is terrifying for side lane, but like not really. If they buy Blade the Ruin King or have Vamp, an HP stacking item in my brain is how it would go. Similar to Heartsteel, how it would be bought or purchased. I think it'd be really terrible against those kind of like already what shits on HP style characters. So there'd be no overpower, but if you walk into a tank late game and this thing has this, there's no escape. This is the you're an idiot Punisher item for tanks. I wish I had visualizations to like talk about it more, but I'm not really prepared for that. And then my next item is like a greater heal but take more damage, like a glass cannon, glass healer kind of deal. So you know, Athene's used to be like you'd fight a little bit and then your healing power would get stronger. Kind of like that, where you, or maybe it's like kind of think of like Varus W, how you press it, then you cast it, and that heal will be stronger. But if you use that big heal, you yourself become more vulnerable. But if you're like fully protected, isolated, this item is perfect. So if you press this, you just have a fat Soraka ulti, or like a very big Janna W, just something like that. Or Janna, I'm going to say Sona W. I just thought of Janna R. If you have like a very big healing opportunity where they can't really hurt you, I see a fat value in this. Especially, I'm just thinking because support items are kind of just weird. And the fact that mythics are no longer going to be forced, I could just feel like something odd will happen to the support pool with just like, I don't know, redemption being rushed every game. That's just my fear. So adding more options like this might feel just a little better. Another item that I want to talk about is a weird one. Is like an anathema style item that's target picking, like in that aspect, but it replaces boots. So instead of buying boots, you buy this item, and it's like unbelievably like bad item like on its own. There's like move speed, enough move speed to say, oh, it's like you replaced magical footwear only, and then regen or like some HP, like something totally nonsensical. But against the target it's selected against, it will like provide you actual full stats worth of pen or damage or something crazy weird, like because I'm just saying boots should have their upgrades back. This is kind of the trade-off of, well, if you don't want to take your boots, you don't want the boot upgrades themselves and their OP enchantments that can come with them, maybe you can trade it for solo target killing. I know this is terrifying, and they've probably tested something like this already in the past, but I think it's cool. And the last odd item that I want to suggest is a tank knockback item, like a fourth of an Alistair W item active. Basically, it'll be like a CC disruptor for Guardian type characters. If you're playing Peel Alistair, like a Taric or someone that just needs them off your character, this is your Wukong defense. This is your Katarina defense. Like, you need this type of thing. And then maybe you can get a little creative about it. Like, you could take it on Rakan and jump in and push him back a little. You could take it on Alistair, full combo, and put him a little punch back, but you're losing your even shroud for it. Stuff like that. I think it'd be pretty cool for engage style characters to have, or peel style characters to have just one more little option. You know, Nico is going to be able to buy Protobelt and Everfrost. You need some way to fight against this character, man. Alright, here's my last and like special bonus area. Masteries I want back. So first things first, I want DEATHFIRE Torch into the sorcery as a keystone. I put the little thing here. DEATHFIRE Touch, it used to give a lot of random kills. I know they've replaced DFT through Comment and Scorch and like kind of Airy, like existing. But honestly, they should buff Comment a little to do like ISO damage to make me have a reason to have it, and bring back DEATHFIRE Torch as the poke style. This is what I take on Jhin kind of keystone, you know? If you weren't there to play DEATHFIRE Torch, it was kind of unhealthy, but I'm not a balancing person. So Riot Games, do me a favor, just make it playable for the common player base. Alright. The next thing is Double-Edged Sword. Double-Edged Sword was not a max mastery thing. It was like an early mastery you'd select. But essentially, it was more damage done and then more damage taken. And I want this to be in row 1 domination tree, along with Cheap Shot, Taste of Blood, and oh my god, I can't remember the last one. It's whatever, the Leaving the Bush one. Like, put it along those ones, so it's like a clear, this is your choice. If you played back in the day, there was a lot of, blind pick was still pretty relevant, especially just among casual players. So you play a lot of mirror matchups, and sometimes just having Double-Edged Sword was the complete difference maker in winning the matchup. And as to my third mastery is Airy to have more Windspeaker's Blessing feel. So Windspeaker's Blessing used to give 10% healing increase and resistances on the heal itself, or shielding would have resistances. I think that 10% healing increase has no place with Summon Airy just in general. But that resistances thing can exist. If the Airy shield itself is on you, I don't see the issue with it having resistances added to it. Because remember how Windspeaker's Blessing first got replaced with the Summon Airy come the Runes Were Forged update? It was kind of advertised to just noobs as Summon Airy would be the replacement for Enchanters. Well, what happened instead is Summon Airy was used on Darius, Pantheon, Orianna, Jace, Garen. Every character just took Summon Airy, except, well, I guess Enchanter still took it, but Guardian style things were still better. So yeah, just give enchanters a little more. And then I say replace Scorch with old sorcery mastery. Scorch right now is in the sorcery, like sorcery trait itself. It's on the third row, and there used to be a mastery in the game called sorcery. Sorcery gave 2% more spell damage should you had all points in it, and I think this would be fine to replace with Scorch. I know Comet and Airy would really miss this, but right now the sorcery keystone kind of feels awkward to use if you want to go straight into it. It feels really good to use if you have it as a secondary, but as a primary, sorcery right now feels pretty bad. Unless you want the defensive summoner or defensive keystone of Phase Rush. So I think mixing sorcery up itself would be pretty helpful for the game. And the last one I want to talk about, you can see it, is inspiration. So Phase Walker, if you don't know Phase Walker, it would make your recall timer reduced by 1 second. I think this is hilarious to return back to League of Legends. I don't know where you would put this under. Like maybe you put it in the second row of inspiration. But maybe it also like would affect like other cooldowns too. I'm not too sure. Like a second off of teleport, or I couldn't tell you. But I think it'd be funny to put back in the game. Especially because inspiration is like the game breaking area, so it should be like another neat little option. That's how broken the inspiration tree is. And my last one is add runic affinities back into row 3, like make it a row 3 choice. So junglers right now, they move between 3 keystones of their secondary pretty much. It's always magical boots, futures market, and then cosmic insight. Those are the 3 you always choose, no matter what. Maybe Hex Flash. Sorry. I forgot Poppy's kind of dank. But if you just make junglers be like, hey, maybe I kind of want this ability to have my buff last just a whole 40 seconds more, might entice them to just say screw the summoner cooldown and spamming. Make them play a little more reserved kind of play. That's my prediction. I don't know. The game's completely changed since we saw a lot of these things, and maybe they've tried them and they're just still completely unhealthy. I don't know. That's been my big old PowerPoint rant, BS, whatever. I'll make this a video, upload it on a YouTube channel or something. Maybe I'll put it on Reddit. Who knows? I'm going back to my real stream now. Peace out, video watchers.